Soul Tribe. I'm KamalaDevi, and I want to wish you a happy, almost Halloween. We're in this beautiful window between the Scorpion new moon and Samhain, also known as Witches' New Year's. So in light of the season, I wanted to talk a little bit about shadow work. I was actually on a call yesterday with a producer who said that, what is shadow work? This is one of the jargon words that you and your, community talk about. And, and I was so surprised because to me it is such an ongoing, lifelong process. And it's so core to the shamanic, path that I was just, wow, I didn't realize that wasn't a really common term and practice. So I'd like to define it a little bit and just speak into it. In essence, shadow work is anytime we're looking at that which we resist. We build up these identities, like almost like a costume, a mask, the personality that we're performing on a regular basis is made up of who we think we are. And that means that there's a who we're not, like, oh no, I'm not that. And shadow work is a willingness to look at what we're resisting, what we're judging or cutting ourselves off from, which often turns into like projection. And that process of owning it and saying, oh, okay, I see where I've resisted that. Let me reclaim that part of me. Because as long as I'm stuck in this costume and I think I'm this and not that, then I'm actually limiting the full range of who I am. And shadow work allows us bit by bit to like integrate pieces of ourselves that then give us full expression. And like I said, it's a lifelong process. We're often discovering new pieces that we didn't realize we were even not looking at. And in the extreme cases, when it's like it's so far in our shadow, it's actually in our blind spot. And then we need other people to support us by offering us reflections because we can't even see it. So I wanted to name that I've been a bit in the shadows. I just got back from Spain. It was an exquisite life peak experience to teach, to facilitate in Spanish. And after coming home and landing, I kind of fell apart, which I often do, this like disintegration process. And now with the new moon, I'm reintegrating. I'm coming back out, wanting to connect with you because it's been, it's been deep. I've been in the undercurrents. And one of the things that I tracked in myself that I've been avoiding is conflict. I have this sense of self that is so oriented towards peace, towards ease and harmony and peace work, that there's a kind of a denial even of war, of conflict. And that shadow of denying or avoiding conflict can actually turn into a sort of a bypass where I'm like, oh, I'm so peaceful, but it's like, I'm not peaceful, I'm just avoidant. And so, the shadow I'm stalking is like, where can I lean in to conflict, not to create drama, but to be, to be responsible about it, to look at where I've caused conflict, where conflict needs to be resolved and dealt with and integrated. And when I see other people in conflict, not to judge them, but to like really celebrate that they're working on their stuff. So this is a piece of my own shadow work. And when you look at that, you may want to look at what's your relationship, not just to conflict, but what's your relationship to that which you judge, that which you want to avoid. What are you resisting? Because what we resist, of course, persists. So we want to look at those edges. And it's really fun actually to do this around Halloween, because that's a time when we have this collective shadow work. Dressing up in costumes of demons and ugly witches is all an example of like things we don't want. And even sexiness, like, you know how Halloween has these, like the sexy nurse or the sexy maid or all these costumes. Because our culture is so sex repressed, Halloween is a time when, oh, yay, sex gets to come out and be center stage and get attention and then go back into the shadows. So it's an interesting festival of shadows, this Halloween ritual that we have. And it's fun sometimes to look at, ooh, what do I want to be for Halloween? Like what costume do I want to try on, or how do I want to express myself in ways that I think I'm, that I'm not. So, all the world's a stage. We're just playing these different roles. And what is the role, the identity, that we're wearing? And shadow work's the ability to take that costume off and be all of who we are, or put that costume on by choice, not like enslaved to our identity because we don't know that we're more than that. So it's deep stuff. And, I'm in this process, would love to hear more about yours. Would love to connect more. And you'll notice on my calendar, I don't have a lot of retreats and invitations coming up. I'm taking some time off to work on my novel and do some more conflict resolution. And so probably the best way, if you want to connect with me, I'd love to, invite you to read my books, like Sex Shamans, 52 Fridays, both have deep shadow work in them. And with the holidays, like my books make awesome gifts. So I work really hard on them as a writer, and I'd love, to share my work. So thanks for listening, and feel free to leave a comment or stay in touch. I'm looking forward to celebrating the Witches' New Year's with you. Blessings.